Crocodile Dundee, 1986, brought the wild Australian outback to audiences around the world with adventure, humor, and a hero unlike anyone Hollywood had seen before. For decades later, the story behind its familiar faces carries a bittersweet turn. Many are still remembered with affection, while nearly half the cast has sadly passed away. Let's look back at where their remarkable journeys led. Paul Hogan made Mick "Crocodile" Dundee a worldwide symbol of Australian confidence. Fearless in the outback, hilariously out of place in Manhattan, and somehow completely at ease in both. His dry humor and rugged charm turned a bushman with a giant knife into one of the defining movie characters of the 1980s. Born on October 8, 1939, Hogan was 46 when Crocodile Dundee transformed him from an Australian television favorite into an international movie star. He also co-wrote the screenplay, earning an Academy Award nomination and a Golden Globe for his performance. Now 86 years old, Paul Hogan remains inseparable from the hat, the knife, and Mick Dundee's unmistakable swagger. 4 decades later, few characters can evoke the Australian outback with a single grin quite like Crocodile Dundee. David Gulpilil gave Neville Bell one of Crocodile Dundee's sharpest surprises, a seemingly traditional figure in the outback who casually reveals he is a city boy. With effortless timing and understated humor, Gulpilil turned a short encounter into a scene that quietly challenged the assumptions of both Sue and the audience. Born on July 1, 1953, Gulpilil was 33 during Crocodile Dundee's breakthrough year. Long before Neville, the celebrated Yolngu actor and ceremonial dancer had already reshaped Indigenous representation on Australian screens through films including Walkabout and Storm Boy. David Gulpilil died on November 29, 2021, at 68 after battling lung cancer. His legacy reaches far beyond one hit movie. He became a towering figure in Australian cinema and a powerful bridge between Indigenous culture and audiences around the world. Maggie Blincoe brought warmth and unmistakable outback character to Ida, helping make Walkabout Creek feel like a real community rather than simply the starting point of Mick Dundee's adventure. Her relaxed humor and natural presence added authenticity before the story traded Australia's wilderness for Manhattan. Born in 1934, Blincoe was around 52 when she played Ida in Crocodile Dundee. Remarkably, she later recalled auditioning on crutches with a broken ankle, and Paul Hogan decided she looked exactly like the Queensland barmaid he wanted. Now 92 years old, Maggie Blincoe represents an extraordinary link to the original film's Australian roots. Her long career has stretched across stage, television, and cinema, while Ida remains part of the colorful outback world that made Crocodile Dundee unforgettable. John Mylan made Walter Riley the perfect old mate for Mick Dundee, weathered, quick-witted, and completely at home in the rugged world of the Australian outback. His dry delivery gave the film an authenticity that perfectly balanced Paul Hogan's larger-than-life charm. Born on May 1, 1934, Mylan was 52 when Walter became one of Crocodile Dundee's most memorable supporting characters. Already a celebrated Australian actor, he brought decades of radio, stage, film, and television experience to the role. John Mylan died on August 10, 1989, at just 55 from cirrhosis of the liver. His partnership with Hogan helped ground both Dundee films, leaving Walter as one of the warmest and most genuinely Australian characters in the franchise. Mark Blum gave Richard Mason the polished confidence of a New York executive who suddenly finds himself competing with a man from the Australian wilderness. Sophisticated and successful, Richard became the perfect contrast to Mick's instinctive charm, sharpening the romantic tension surrounding Sue. Born on May 14, 1950, Blum was 36 when he stepped into Crocodile Dundee as Sue's editor and boyfriend. Already gaining attention from desperately seeking Susan, he turned Richard into a believable rival without reducing him to a simple villain. Mark Blum died on March 25, 2020, at the age of 69 from complications of COVID-19. His Richard Mason remains an essential piece of the culture clash that made Mick's invasion of Manhattan so entertaining. Michael Lombard brought seasoned authority to Sam Charlton, Sue's newspaper publisher father and the man whose fascination with Mick Dundee helped turn an Outback legend into a New York sensation. His measured presence grounded the American side of the story while chaos followed Mick through Manhattan. Born on August 8, 1934, Lombard entered Dundee's world at 52 after building an extensive career across theater and television. His experience gave Sam the effortless credibility of a powerful publisher who could recognize a remarkable story when he saw one. Michael Lombard passed away on August 13, 2020, just 5 days after his 86th birthday. His role as Sam remains part of the bridge between two wildly different worlds at the heart of Crocodile Dundee. Linda Kozlowski gave Sue Charlton the curiosity and confidence needed to challenge Mick Dundee on his own ground. Beginning as a journalist chasing an extraordinary Outback story, Sue gradually became the bridge between two completely different worlds, and the woman who discovered there was far more behind Mick's rugged legend. Born on January 7, 1958, Kozlowski was 28 when Sue became her breakthrough role, earning her a Golden Globe nomination. Her chemistry with Paul Hogan carried the adventure from Australia to Manhattan and eventually became a real-life romance. Now 68 years old, Linda Kozlowski has long since retired from acting. Yet Sue's journey from fearless reporter to Mick's unexpected soulmate remains the emotional thread that gives Crocodile Dundee its heart. John Snyder appeared as the streetwise pimp who gave Mick Dundee another unforgettable lesson in Manhattan life. The encounter was brief, but moments like this made Mick's journey through New York so entertaining. An Outback survivor confronting big city characters with complete innocence and fearless curiosity. Snyder arrived in Crocodile Dundee after already appearing in The Warriors and Miami Vice, then continued through a remarkably varied career that included Sid and Nancy, K9, Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Eraser. Reliable public sources do not establish his birth date consistently, so his age during filming is best left unclaimed. Though only a small part, Snyder's appearance belongs to the colorful parade of New Yorkers who helped turn Mick's culture shock into comedy, and Manhattan itself into the film's second great wilderness. Reginald VelJohnson brought easygoing New York warmth to Gus, the chauffeur who became one of Mick Dundee's first guides through the strange new wilderness of Manhattan. His brief appearance helped make Mick's culture shock feel funnier, turning an ordinary city encounter into another memorable piece of the adventure. Born on August 16, 1952, VelJohnson was 34 when he appeared in Crocodile Dundee, just before the roles that would make him famous. Within a few years, Die Hard and Family Matters transformed him into one of America's most recognizable screen personalities. Now 74 years old, Reginald VelJohnson carries a remarkable legacy far beyond Gus. Looking back, Crocodile Dundee captures him just before Hollywood turned that familiar face into a television and movie icon. And Carlisle made Gwendolyn one of Mick Dundee's strangest Manhattan encounters, adding a playful jolt of downtown New York eccentricity to his wide-eyed journey through the city. In only a brief scene, her presence perfectly captured how unpredictable this new urban wilderness could seem to a man from the Outback. Born in 1956, Carlisle was around 30 during Crocodile Dundee's breakthrough year. By then, she was already a cult film figure after co-writing and playing dual roles in the provocative 1982 sci-fi film Liquid Sky, followed by an appearance in Desperately Seeking Susan. Now around 70, and Carlisle has largely left acting behind for work in art and psychotherapy. Gwendolyn remains a wonderfully unusual snapshot of 1980s Manhattan, and another reminder that New York could surprise Mick almost as much as the Australian wild. Thanks for taking this journey from the Outback back through movie history with us. If Crocodile Dundee still makes you smile, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite memory below. These unforgettable stars may be gone, but their legacy lives on.